we're gonna do, I feel, an elevated everyday glam that you could wear to work and then the bar afterwards, wine bar, sitch. So what do you know about makeup? Have you done makeup before?
Makeup is such a beautiful thing that I'm not passionate about at all.
Okay.
But today I will get a crash course, and by the end of it,
You will be passionate.
you're going to want to hire me as your apprentice.
Perfect. Just what I need. Okay.
All right.
So I'm going to do one half of Ali's gorgeous face, and you can do the other. So I think I'll do this half. Mm-hmm. Ali has already skin prepped, so she's not going to talk to me. Is that right? Okay. She's just mute. Okay.
Hey, shut up.
No. She's the talent. It's okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you've already done a skin prep. You can see that her skin's like nice and juicy. It's nice and hydrated. If you were going to do
like a
makeup, it doesn't look like a mandarin. It doesn't look that porous. Well, no, it looks like it's good, right? So she's already got moisturizer on. If you had someone sitting here and it was like the Sahara Desert, we would need to put moisturizer and stuff on. But this is a primer, which is going to go all over her face. So I'll put it all there, which is going to help everything.
What does primer do?
Great question. So primer is just going to act essentially as like a sticky canvas so that everything is going to stick. This one's also got some niacinamide and hyaluronic acid in it.
That's good for the skin.
It is good for the skin.
Yeah.
She's my real apprentice. Thank you so much. God bless. Now I'm going to use this.
Oh, we're already going?
We're going.
Oh, okay.
We don't have that much time.
And I have to watch from this angle?
I guess so.
Yes, she's doing that side.
I'm doing this side. Okay.
Behind her.
Actually, you know what? Maybe we'll use a sponge. No, you're going to figure it out. Okay, so we've got a sponge here.
Yeah.
We're going to go in.
Yeah.
And we're going to use this sponge throughout the application. And then we're just gently dabbing this into her skin in a pressing motion. We're not swiping.
How much are we aiming for here? Just a
light coverage.
A light coverage.
Over the entire half of her face.
Yeah.
Just make sure that everything is going to last throughout the day and give us that good working or starting point, I should say. So I don't know if Ali has oily or dry skin because I can't ask her. Can I make an assumption?
She has citrusy skin.
Well, if she had oily skin, for example, we would want to focus that in her T-zone because that's where she's going to need more support for her makeup to last. I'll just get you to shut your eyes.
Where's the T-zone?
The T-zone is like that's the top of the T and the nose down to the bottom of the chin.
That's where the testosterone is?
That's No, it's just the shape of the T, man.
Right. Has she got good T or low T?
She's got a great T.
Okay, great.
She's got a perfectly symmetrical T. And I've just popped that over her eyelid as well because that's going to help the eyeshadow stick too because we're not going to do anything too heavy.
It's this one, yeah?
That's the primer, yeah. So barely there, luminous skin filter. And now we're going to give her base. The vape?
Yeah.
Not today.
Okay.
That's not what we're doing here. So this is kind of like a stick, so this is super easy to use. And so you're just going to apply it directly onto her face. And we can see that color there, right?
See the mandarin thing that I'm talking about?
No, not really, because her skin is perfect with no pores. So I'm just going to do like a little layer over this half, and then we can always add more if we want to. And then going in with that same sponge, we're just going to press that in to kind of blend it all across. You see that?
That's helping.
Now, the other good thing about using a sponge the whole way through the application is that this is going to have the primer on it, it's going to have the foundation on it, it's going to have everything on it. So we're going to get a really seamless blend. You see what I'm saying?
And did you smear that at each point and you're blending it?
Well, no, I kind of smeared it. I kind of smeared it in the middle and then the top of her forehead. And now I'm blending it out. And if I wanted more coverage, we can add more, which I probably will add a little bit more. Now, just lift your neck for me. We also want to make, that's not your neck. I said the wrong word, lift your chin. Just going to make sure that we're blending that down towards her neck so that we're not going to have any harsh lines because that's the number one thing we don't want.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Also going into it, And then you're really looking to see, not that you can see from here, if there's any patches of redness, that's where we want to center this product to kind of counteract that.
Like on her lips.
So, well, we're going to color in her lips. So just kind of always around the nose And then I'm just going to put a little bit up by her brow and we're going to blend that down as a little base for eyeshadow later. How are you feeling about this so far, sir?
So you're leaving the eyes?
Well, no, I'm going to get it to shut in just one second. I'm
yeah.
just making sure that the base on the...
I think I understand the concept so far.
So far, okay, that's good. I'll get you to shut for me. And see this that I just popped on there? I'm just dragging that with all the extra products as well that's on the sponge onto her eyelid so that we've got a bit of a base for the eyeshadow that we will do momentarily.
Cool.
How's that sitting with you?
With me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this all making sense so far?
This is elementary.
This is elementary. Takes years to learn how to do this well.
We'll see about that.
Okay. Okay, so this is the... yeah, we'll start here.
So eyeshadow?
This is eyeshadow. We're going to take this black fluffy brush
Yeah.
and dip it in like a mid shade. So like, see how these are really light and these ones are kind of mid and they're really dark. We want to do a mid shade so that we can define her crease. Are you all right?
I just had a terrible thought. Don't worry.
Oh, well, I don't want to know that thought. And so I'm just focusing. Can you see that crease line above where her eyelid is?
Yeah.
So that's like her eye socket and whatnot. And we just want to define that because that's going to give her eye definition. And then if you imagine it's almost like a backwards kind of like C shape.
Yeah.
We're kind of going to curve around there a little bit so that we're giving the outer eye definition, which is going to help her look more lifted.
Lifted.
Like her whole face more snatched upwards.
Snatched upwards.
We wouldn't want to be putting too much product like down here or heavy all throughout the eye.
Sommelier language.
Sommelier.
You know how they say a wine's crunchy and you don't really know what that means? I don't know what snatched upwards means.
Well, you're gonna figure it out. You're gonna see. Is he allowed to come around? I'm not talking to you. Just like come have a peek up here.
Yeah.
Show your eyes for me, Michelle. So see in this outer corner, kind of lifting upwards there, but focusing.
That's the snatching?
That's the snatching.
Okay.
Is an upwards lift.
Yeah.
But we're focusing this more on that outer corner. Because if we put this all the way through her eye, it would be really heavy and it would make not everyday wearable snatched look. Is this making sense so far?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Then you can get out of my personal space.
Great.
And then what we're going to do to open that up is pick a lighter tone. And I'm going to get that on my...
Which tone was this?
This was that one.
Okay.
I'm going to get this lighter shade here. I'm going to get her to shut her eye. And I'm doing this... sorry. Finger. Shut. And then I'm just going to pop that in the center of her eye, which is going to make it look a little bit brighter, more awake vibes.
Do you ever use your nails?
No, not professionally.
Okay.
So see how I've done that, chat for me? If you have eyes in a third, I've done it in 1, 2, and then left that kind of corner where we were putting that other shadow.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So it should be darker, lighter, lightest.
I understand. You're doing a gradient towards the nose.
Correct.
Right.
Good job.
You could quickly run the risk of giving her a black eye.
I mean...
With this makeup, right?
You could, but the reason why I'm using my finger for that is because it will be really... the pigment will be really strong on her lid. Rather, if I use a fluffy brush like this, it's going to be more diffused, whereas we can really see that that's sitting there quite strong.
Yeah.
Which is nice. We'll keep it nice and open. We are going to put this brush to the side. We're going to come back and use it when we bring everything back together. But what I need, because we're going to do a little wing, and I believe I brought a wing brush. So this is a winged eyeliner brush. And we're going to do an eyeliner with eyeshadow because that keeps it really soft. If we could do like a gel or something like that and it would be black and it would look really harsh, but that's not Ali's vibe. So we're not going to do that. There's just a little hair there. Oh, is it in your eye?
So itchy, no.
Okay. He's gone. He's gone.
Okay.
Not to worry. You want to make sure that your client is comfortable. Also, can you see here this like breakage right around the corner of her nose? See something like that? No, it's kind of breaking up a little bit because we haven't powdered it yet, but we'll do that after.
Yeah.
So I'm just going back in with that same sponge with any residual product that's there.
Okay.
So this is going to be potentially one of the harder parts for you.
Yep.
So we're taking this brush, and this is when we're going to go into one of those darker shadows. I think because it's still quite light, we're not going to use the black. I think that would be a bit extreme. I think we're going to go to this one.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm just patting that on because we want it to be on the top of this brush.
Yep.
Now, what we're going to do is get Ali to look straight ahead, which she's already doing, and then see this line here, that's her bottom waterline.
Waterline?
See where her lashes are?
Yeah.
And then there's that like that little bit inside, like where your tears come out.
You're going all the way up there?
No.
Okay.
We're using that as a guide as to where this eyeliner should go.
Yeah.
And then stamping it.
Stamp.
It's
a little wing.
Like that, right?
Okay.
So that's the beginning of our wing, and we can clean it up after.
Okay.
So I'm going to go back in for more product. And then I'm going to stamp it again to make sure that that's nice
She's
and
trying not to laugh.
pigmented. No, she's not. She knows that this is my swan song. And shut for me. And then we can just take it down towards her lashes. So I'm kind of just going back and forth a little bit. If that makes sense. And we want to make sure that this is nice and straight, because otherwise she's going to look silly.
Do you want a hard point
Open for
on
me?
that?
No, we're going to diffuse it in a second.
Oh.
So we're going to take it kind of just like to this outer third. We're not going to go all the way across the eye, because that'll look really heavy, which is not what we're trying to do here. And I'm going to get you to shut for me again. And then I'm going to flip the brush so that the pointier end is towards the inner eye. And then you can lift gently her eyelid just by holding her brow to get in that nice shape, so it kind of gets lost into the lashes.
Yeah.
Is that okay, like shot-wise, or do you need me to do more? Okay. Okay, so if you come around, she's actually got the perfect face for a wing. Just look down for me, but not close. You can just see that there are a couple of gaps here. This is probably going to be the hardest thing that you'll do, and like the thing that can take the longest, because also this brush is tiny and fiddly. So see there's like a little gap there? We're just going to fill that in ever so slightly. And look at me. Gorge. And then the easiest way to clean that up is to get one of these, which are like super pointy.
Yeah.
So I got you the good ones
All right.
so that you can do this. And then lifting her brow ever so slightly, we're going to press it in and lift up like so. And that's going to create the really nice.
Smearing it off?
Yeah.
Oh, but you've done a...
Yeah, but we're going to clean that up.
Okay, yeah.
But this is what's going to keep the line really sharp.
Yeah.
And then lifting upwards, it's also going to affect the angle ever so slightly. But the more up we can go, the better, because it's going to keep her face looking really fresh. See?
So you want a pretty sharp angle on it?
Yeah.
All right.
That's cutesy. All right, back to my space thing. So the line that you've just kind of identified,
Yeah.
we're going to cover that up with a bit of concealer. So this is It Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye. Now, my understanding of this particular product is that it's quite thick, so you only need a little bit.
It's quite what?
Thick.
Oh, thick.
It's pretty thick. So when you have a product like that, a really good way to work with that is to put it on the back of your hand, because your hand has natural warmth. And if you kind of start rubbing it in a little bit with your finger, it will warm the product up, make it more malleable and easier to use on somebody else's skin. Does that make sense? So I'm just going to spend a little bit of time patting this in, getting it really warm. And you see that this is lighter. So the idea with a concealer is to cover up any darkness. And so the darkness kind of like under the eye. As we age, everyone's going to get that. I could put it on you, but this is probably not your shade. And then using my finger just to apply it, I'm just going to dab it in that upwards direction, and then we're going to go back in with that same sponge again. How are we feeling about this concept so far?
This is, yeah.
This is good?
We're good.
So I just want to get, so look up for me. Sorry, it's a bit weird with my nail in your face, but now we're going to go back to that sponge. Okay? Same sponge, same shit from throughout the day. And then we're going to lift that.
What's the name of this look again?
What did I call it? An everyday elevated glam, I guess, that you could wear to work. And then if you were going to like
Elevated
a wine
glam.
bar. Yeah, it's like an elevated everyday look. So also you can see I just went in on this warmed up product with the sponge directly, just where I want more pigment so that I can push that into the inner corner of her eye.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Because we don't need as much of this pigment up here, because she doesn't have as much darkness there, which is natural to like literally everyone. This is looking good. And then we can just use any residual product that's left on our hand to just get any of those spots that are a little bit more red, like around the nose, which again, pretty much everyone gets. And then we are in
So you're trying to maintain that so it doesn't look unnatural?
Yeah, no, this looks super natural.
Yeah, but the redness that everybody has, you're trying to keep, is that what you're saying?
No, we're using it just to cover up any like residual redness. Like around the nose, you always seem to break up, not Ali, like everyone.
Yeah.
And then also she's got just like a handful of like leftover spots on her chin that like aren't raised or anything, but like we'll just give her a little bit on the chin. Also these areas that get oily, so naturally you're really oily like in your T-zone here and in your chin as well. This thicker product is going to help the whole thing hold a bit more. So we're good so far?
So far, you started with this.
Yep.
Just diffused it.
Yep.
And you did this and you blended it. And that was just both all over.
Yep.
Then you put the dark eyeshadow on and then you highlighted.
Mid eyeshadow.
The mid.
Ooh, highlight.
And you highlighted it with this lighter one in the middle.
I'm an educator.
Then you did a wing with, oh no, you did that with this brush. And then you did a wing with this brush.
Yep.
With this color here. And then you've used the under eye, baby by under her eye.
Bye under eye, but baby by
that's
short.
everything, right?
Yeah, that's it so far. Okay, so now this is where I think you're going to freak out a little bit.
Yeah, what is this?
This is called a curve case, and this is all cream color that's going to add dimension because you can see right now that it's giving kind of like flat. Like there's no natural color that's coming out.
My intrusive thought is just cake the darkest color.
I mean, if that's what you want to do, I'm not the one who has to deal with this.
And just the police get called. But
So
anyway.
Ali's skin is quite fair.
Yeah.
So we'll go towards the fairer side of
For
the
sure.
curve case, right? I'm actually going to mix this because I'm not convinced that that's... So see, this is like pretty jelly.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to get a little bit of the darker one as well.
Yeah.
And then I might actually do a little bit more of that. And then... What? What's so funny?
Nothing.
This is my livelihood.
It's not you.
Okay.
Sorry, my bad.
We're going to take one of these brushes, I think, because it's going to give us a nice diffused look. What we're going to do with this brown shade that I've just created is a bit of contouring and bronzing to add dimension back into Ali's face.
Yeah.
Ali, lucky for you, has really visible cheekbones. So we're going to focus, as a start, this color on those cheekbones. Okay? And then we're going to go down that line, probably with this much gap. Like we don't want to take it too far down because then our whole face will look sunken. So we're going to take it there.
We want snatched and uplifted.
We want snatched and uplifted, exactly.
Yeah.
So even you can take it in an upwards motion, right?
Oh.
Take it in an upwards motion and you're patting it rather than swiping it back and forth, because if you swipe it,
You'll blend it.
well, you'll lift everything else that's underneath.
Right.
So if you're patting it, you're not going to disturb all the work that's already been done.
Okay.
And see, I'm taking that up
Yeah.
her, what was that? Her temple, I guess.
Yeah.
And then you can dip in and get a little bit more.
Now her cheekbones are crazy.
They look good. And then
It's like Spanish.
it's just the outer edges of her face, essentially, that we're going to give her a little bit more depth, dimension, vibes. And then I'm just going in. You can never blend too much, I hate to tell you. So that's going to be your biggest thing, is blending. And then see, it's always good to take a step back and see what we're working with. So see, I can see that's not quite blended there.
Yeah.
And then also because
this
she's quite fair.
Here is really like
Well,
obvious.
Well, yeah, because we're not finished yet.
Good.
Huh? 10? That's fine. And then we're also just going to take a little bit to her ears
That's been 20 minutes.
and then under her cheeks as well.
Uh-huh. Okay. So you're creating
It's
definition
basically a
here.
3 shape,
Uh-huh.
right? And then if you feel like
These are the low lights.
the line is harsh because we've got the wing, but if you feel like that shadow line is too harsh, which I agree, we're taking the same brush we did the shadow on and just diffusing it into her temple.
Okay.
Yeah? So now that's fixed. Now we're going to use the same palette and we're going to give her a blush shade. This one's too hectic,
I
like
would
that's
never use
fluorescent.
that. Yeah.
This one's a nice soft rosy, which kind of suits her rosy undertones. And we're going to put it back on the hand as a makeup
What do you call this?
The like pinky ones.
Just the name of this.
That product is called a curve case.
A curve case.
Yeah, and then again, I'm doing the warm-up thing because see how pigmented that is? She would
Yeah.
look fucking nuts, like a clown. If we just went directly with that. And then we're just going to focus that up here towards the apples of her cheeks.
Yeah.
Not going in the same three, we're just giving her that colour.
You know, I had this really insecure friend who used to get me to retouch photos of her on Photoshop.
Uh-huh.
And I kind of did this in Photoshop.
Oh, well, see, you already know what we're doing. So now what we need to do, so this is going to last, is set all of it with the equivalent products in powder. We've only used creams, so now we're going to use the equivalents in powder. So the similar brown tone on a fresh brush, going where we took those brown tones earlier, yeah? Mm-hmm. Blending upwards in a patting motion.
What is this, sorry?
So this is a bronzer, and we're going to use this as a powder blush as well.
Bronzer and powder blush. What's this doing that it hasn't already been done?
It's adding more pigment, but more importantly, the powder is going to help set the cream so that this is going to last throughout the day. And especially when using powder bronzer, we want to make sure we're kind of lightly taking it down the neck so she's not going to have any super harsh lines. And then we can just use this same brush to get the blush here.
And that's just going on the cheek?
Exactly where we put the colour earlier.
All right.
And if you feel like that might be a little bit harsh, first of all, it's going to wear throughout the day as her natural oils come through.
Yep.
But you can just use the same beauty blender just to pat it in to get that really nice blend. But see how her face is nice and lifted?
It's looking good.
And then what we can do is use a different brush, and we're just going to lightly powder. So this is kind of like complexion powder.
Yeah.
Lightly powder. I just get a mix of all of them because I don't really give a shit. But
we haven't used these yet, have we?
We're not going to.
Okay.
On the rest of the face to set the complexion products that we did. Just super lightly, really good to get it down this bit because that's where people tend to touch their face a lot, like if they rest their hands on their face for some reason.
Yep.
And then we'll get that down. Great. That's looking good. And then we're going to grab this real quick. So this is called the brow glue, but essentially this is just brow gel with a slight tint in it. Ali's brows are perfect. They don't really need anything.
So why are you doing
Well,
this?
we're just going to do this to make sure they don't move throughout the day, but the slight tint is just going to help them look more defined because otherwise, like when you put foundation on, if you don't do anything with your brows can look a little bit washed out.
I see.
Right? So we're just lifting them up and then...
Can you do one of mine?
I would if I didn't have a time limit.
Oh,
I'm more concerned with the time limit than your brows, to be respectful. And I'm feeling good about this. And then we are going to do real quick. Get Ali to curl her own lash.
Oh, what are you paid for?
Well, a lot of clients feel more comfortable to curl their own lashes.
That makes a lot of sense.
Because it gets really close to their eye.
No, yeah, I'm going to do it, yeah.
Well, I don't know how Ali's going to feel about that, but that's fine.
I won't. I'll be gentle. What's this one?
And then this is mascara.
Wait, where did you put this?
What do you mean?
I think
I put that all over where we put her foundation.
Okay, yeah. Fuck.
And then my hands are really dirty. Can I just get Ali to do her own mascara real quick so that we can save time? Is that a problem? No, you know what? I'll just teach you. It's fine. Okay,
What's this, mascara? Yeah.
I don't know what it is. It's
Everyone knows
L'Oreal something or
mascara.
other. I'm just going to wipe off the excess. This is going to cover her face, but whatever. Okay, so coming in front of her, asking her to keep her eyes open but look down. And then I'm going to gently use my finger to lift her lashes so they curl up towards my finger.
Ooh. I reckon the eyelids are going to be the hardest part.
Yeah, I'd say so. Okay, now you quickly just finish off that mascara for me because my hands are so fucking dirty. I don't want to ruin your face. Some clients also prefer to do their own mascara, which has been helpful to me in my career because I don't like to.
What is this?
This is micellar water. I'm just cleaning my hand.
Your micellar water?
Micellar water is just like a makeup remover that I can just get all that crap off my hand.
Okay, great.
And then we're going to quickly do Ali's lip.
Yep.
And then we're done. If you would normally do the bottom, yeah. How's that janky wing?
Oh, you haven't seen a janky wing yet.
Well, it's all right. It's just like not. Anyway, we're fine. Looks better with mascara. Everything looks better with mascara, respectfully.
I'm just going to recap with you.
Well, we don't have time to recap right now. You need to recap internally while I finish this face.
2 minutes.
Yeah, okay.
Fuck.
So now we're just going to quickly get, this is a lip liner. This is Makeup Forever, everyone's favorite
Lip liner.
lip liner.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to lift the bow of Ali's lip and just get this lip liner all along that natural lip line.
Ooh.
Which Mummy is struggling with right now with the
Are
pressure
you
of
Mummy or is
time.
Ali Mummy?
I'm Mummy.
Okay.
And then you can do the same here. Use your finger to flip it up. It just makes it easier to apply. And then softly diffuse it. We've done the line to kind of give it that definition, but we can diffuse it in. And then we get this gorgeous, gorgeous gloss, which has a nice little sheen to it.
Yep.
And we put that all over the lip.
Yeah.
And get her to do one of these. Nice. And then I can just see
Now the whole
that
lip's done.
my finger brought that together a little bit. And then we're gonna get this setting spray, L'Oreal setting spray. Ali's gonna do me a favor and take a big fuck off deep breath. Shut your eyes. And I'm just gonna do my half. And you can breathe now. You can breathe now.
Cute.
And that is set, and that is your look.
That looks good.
Yay!
Hi.
Hello.
How's your day going?
Pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah, how are you going?
Fantastic.
Excited to see what you have to show us today.
Yeah, no, it's going to be incredible. Well, today I'm going to show you how to do a half face of makeup. We're going to be doing a snatched everyday look that's very uplifted. So good for the wine bar, good for the gym.
For the gym.
Absolutely.
Great.
Wow,
Yeah.
great.
All right, show us what you got.
Oh, they're not quizzing me?
Well, you start and then I'll quiz you throughout.
Oh, I don't understand the format.
Just you start doing the makeup and I'll quiz you as you're throughout the process.
Beautiful. All right, so the first thing, I've got this lovely blending sponge, and I'm going to use this Barely There Luminous Skin Filter. Actually, you know what? First of all, I'm going to give her a setting mist.
And what does the setting mist do?
It sets the mist. All right, close your eyes. There you go. This has niacinamide and hyaluronic acid in it, which is great for the skin and allows... Is that too much? All right.
Tell me about your application technique.
Not much of a technique there, just putting it on. So, I'm just going to blend this in. All right, like this. Feel free to ask questions as I go.
What is your upsell strategic after base foundation application?
One more time, please. Okay, I'm ready. I didn't catch that. What was that?
It's quite long.
Yeah.
Yes. So, what is your upsell strategic after base foundation application?
My upsell?
Yep.
What?
What's your upsell strategy?
Am I a salesperson?
Well,
You're very fast. You need to be able to do it all.
Oh, I have no fucking idea. What do I upsell people after my strategic makeup foundation application? You're on your own there. I have no idea, to be honest. Yeah, just whatever the client wants, you know? Some clients want lipstick, some clients want mascara. Personally, I really like skin cleanser. I get a bit oily, so they upsell me that. Yeah.
How about you tell us about the product, the product that you're using?
Yeah. This right here is like a base, you know? It's a base for the makeup. So you don't just want to go raw dogging makeup on your skin. It's not nice.
Why is
So
that?
how you handle a client when hate your work, but he won't say why?
What did you say? They hate their work, but they won't say why?
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. I interrogate them. I say, we have Google Forms, we have reviews. I'm just going to get this off your skin. You gotta tell me why you hate my work. Usually they crack after a few hours.
So what is
Close
the
your eyes for
profit
me,
margin? Sorry. Go on. So what is the profit margin on a look like this? So could you break it down for me?
Profit. What are you doing? Profit margin.
Talk us through the
You told me I was going to be doing makeup, not selling makeup.
Yeah.
You're a small business owner.
I'm starting to understand what you want from me now. All right. Can we please get that question again?
Yeah, sure. What's the profit margin on a look like this?
So,
Break it down for me, please.
Yeah.
If it is your audition for a luxury brand, what would you pitch?
if this is my audition for a
Yep.
luxury brand, what's
Yep.
my profit margin?
Exactly.
Okay. Those seem like two different things. Well, the profit margin on this, I'm going to aim for 20 to 30%, excluding labor. So obviously my time is valuable. The makeup has a cost. We get those two costs together and then we just chuck 30% on, and I think we're in good business. Now, if I'm pitching a luxury brand, what I'm going to tell them is that my services, I'm going to use like an appeal to authority fallacy and just say, look, Vogue loves me, Condé Nast Traveler, I've worked with all of these brands. It's not true, by the way. But yeah, essentially that's that. I have worked with Gucci, Balenciaga, me and Ali go way back. Any luxury job she does, she only trusts the best to do her makeup. So, they are going to want to hear that from their talented makeup artist. And yeah, that's my pitch.
Thank you. Now we are into question.
Under
Could you
bye-bye.
name 3 ways to look? It could be monetized in under 60 seconds.
6 ways to get monetized in under 60 seconds.
Yes, please.
Get paid, get laid, Gatorade. And, buy low, sell high, that's 5. And then the final one is do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life.
So what is your cancellation policy when a client looks like in the mirror and scream?
I'll definitely give them a full refund if that happens, but luckily for me, I've never encountered that situation. 100% client satisfaction.
その頬の赤みは桜の季節ですか？それともただ単にわざとアレルギーか何かなんですかね？
That's an excellent point. تحكي عربي؟ أنا نحكي شوي شوي بس بعدين علي مع أنت نحكي كل أكل بس شاورما بحب كتير.
まつげが蜘蛛の巣のように見えますけど、それもわざとなんですかね？
لا.
Sorry, so can you just talk me through how do you ensure a long-lasting base without over-powdering?
Great question, actually. I get this one all the time. You ensure a long-lasting face without over-powdering by
Long-lasting base.
Oh, base. Yeah, you got to use the right amount of powder, but it's also essential that the client doesn't touch their face all day.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
So, por favor, ¿podría break down the cost per use of the highlighter palette for a pro artist If you could launch a master class on this technique, what your upsell will funnel?
Great question.
What's your upsell funnel?
My upsell funnel. What do you have? Process of elimination. Do you have foundation? Yes. Well, then I'm not going to sell you that, am I? Because that would be preaching to the choir. But yeah, basically, you know, I try and find out what they're running low on, what I've sold them in the past. Close your eyes for me, please, Annie. And yeah, basically, it's all about tailoring the experience to the client, right? I think too many people out there just force feed you products and are too interested in really the sale and not interested enough in the client's needs. So my upsell strategy really starts with asking the right questions and tailoring the experience to each client.
But if a client demanded a refund, what would be your retention offer?
My retention offer? Well, why are they asking for a refund? Do you know in this situation?
If they're not happy.
Oh, if they're not happy? Well, yeah, of course. I would generally refund them in that case.
そのハイライトは月の光なんですか？それともただ単に油っぽいだけなんですか？
Yep, that's a good point.
あなたのブラシの動きがサメが踊ってるように見えますけども。
Well, in that situation, I would ask them to take the poodle outside because we don't allow pets in the makeup store either.
So which brush densities do you prefer for blending versus packing color?
Well, that's a trick question, and you know it.
I'm not sure it is.
The most dense brush, the most dense cake. Or something like that, I don't know. Close your eyes, please.
Maybe you can tell me about your method for checking undertones in artificial lighting?
Checking undertones in artificial lighting.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got to check for that.
What's your method?
Have a look.
このメイクがなんか風のようですね。でも台風なのかただ単にそよ風なのかよくわかりませんけど。
That is so rude. I can't believe you'd bring that up today.
多分沈黙は最大の叫び声です。ただ聞こえないだけですからね。
I don't know how you understand him, but I got a question for you.
Yes.
What's your time motion breakdown to maximum profits on your service?
It's not just a business, you know what I mean? It's also people. So we've got to balance profit with relationships. And I think, my opinion is, as long as you've got happy customers, the word of mouth keeps people coming in the door. And as long as you've got turnover, the margin just follows. So I've fucked this up royally. Close your eyes, please.
So can you walk us through what you're doing right now?
A wing.
A wing.
Surely you know that.
What's your technique?
I go for a French je ne sais quoi technique.
眉は兄弟のはずですけど、あなたの場合は完全に他人になってますね。それは大丈夫なんですか？
Not today, mate.
Can you tell us about your understanding of face shapes and how that affects contour placement?
Yeah, of course. I mean, the rounder the face, the more you've got to contour it, right? We don't want to be putting circles on circles and edges on edges. So once again, it's really about understanding the environment that you're working in. And what else do you want me to tell you? Where is that?
How would you franchise this look into a studio training program?
Into my training program? I don't train anybody. God forbid. That would be terrible.
蝶は飛ぶ理由を考えませんけど、ただ飛ぶだけですけどね。それでも大丈夫ですか？
Well, marine biology is an important subject, and I do agree with the general sentiment, but I just don't know what that has to do with anything.
Can you walk us through how you chose this blush for this model?
Shit, this looks bad. I don't know, she's got red cheeks. I want to make them more red. That's more or less it. What do you want me to tell you?
私が思うのは、あなたのブラシの動きはまるでサメが踊ってるように見えます。大丈夫ですか、それでも。
This guy's got the best questions out of all of you.
I wish I understand.
That's my alarm for my parking. Sorry.
Well, I need to go and lie down.
Okay, that makes sense.
Pause one second.
What's your go-to skincare product that you can't do your makeup without?
My makeup or my client's makeup?
Yes.
Your own makeup.
Oh, I don't wear makeup.
You don't wear makeup?
No.
Really?
No, I am poor. But basically, I will use a nice cleanser, some moisturizer, and then some sunscreens. Brad Pitt, you know? He looks
Yeah.
good, he's 50, that's what he does. God, how do I get these eyes right? It's so hard with the questions.
まあでも失敗は床に散らばった米粒のようなものですからね。拾いはまた食事になりますよ。
Yes.
Can you explain the technique you're using right now?
Do I have to?
Yes, please.
I'm blending the eyeshadow in with the wing, so it doesn't look artificial. Where was that glue?
How
Yeah.
about, can you tell us the difference between a BB and a CC cream?
BB is big and beautiful, and CC is cutesy and courteous. So just trying to understand, if it's a big, beautiful client, we're going to give her some BB. But if she's cutesy and courteous, we're going to be polite and give her that CC.
Interesting.
でもまあ人生は自転車のようなものですからね。ペダルを踏み続けないと倒れます。
You are a cheeky devil, I'll tell you that much. Ali, would you mind just curling your eyelashes for me? Close your eyes. Right, open your eyes. Get them in there. There you go. Stop prancing.
Even the brightest lantern casts a shadow. What does yours hide?
With the brightest eyeshadow, what does the user hide?
It's right.
He's asking, even the brightest lantern casts a shadow.
Yes.
Yes. So what does yours hide is the question.
Tax fraud. Roses have thorns, my friend.
And how are you going to finish off this look today?
With a bit of disco. Close your eyes. Disco. I'm just going to do the lips, and then I reckon she'll be looking red hot.
And what's your technique for long-lasting lip wear?
Don't be drinking wine out of glasses all day. You need to use a straw. Where is your lip liner? Have you hidden it from me? Where's lip liner? Is it? Yeah,
Shouldn't you know the answer to that?
I don't know, shouldn't you?
You're the makeup artist.
Who told you that? All right, smack your lips. Yeah, look at that. Oh, hang on, no, that's a miss. Let me sort you out here.
You know what? I'm actually quite impressed.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think that actually looks pretty dang good.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I've done
私は実際
better.
何かどうか分かりませんけどね。
That's true. But don't tell Ali.
So when a tree falls in the forest, does it wear a brush? Think carefully.
That's such a great question. I think the tree is the brush and the forest is the face.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, we're done. A dewy, uplifted, everyday look that will get you through the wine bar, to the gym, and even the school bus.
Great.
Are there more questions?
I think that's it. Thank you.
大丈夫だと思いますよ。
Thank you.
Oh, that's a bit rude, but all right. So how do you think he went?
Well,
私は結構いいと思いますけどね。皆さんどう思います？
well,
特に、まあモデルさんがいいですからね。彼が下手でもなんとかなりますよ。
yeah, I answer your question. Yeah, I thought he was pretty good.
Did you really?
Yeah, he was spot on.
I think the final look is quite good, but I think it was a bit of luck. I don't think he knew what he was talking about at all.
Well, he's a businessman, so marketing.
Yeah, but
He's good at it.
he's good at marketing.
I think so.
まあモデルがいいからですよ。彼が下手でもなんとかなりますから大丈夫です。
Sí, ¿tú me entiendes a mí? Yo también puedo hablar en
大丈夫だと
español.
思いますよ。
Sí, porque
もちろん。
entiendo.
Overall, I think I would give him a fail. I don't think he passed. What do you guys think?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? Maybe he passed marketing, but not the actual makeup part.
But look at her. She looked pretty.
She does look pretty. That's true.
Come, have a look.
いや彼女もともと綺麗だからですよ。
I want to see it. I really, I look beautiful. Wow, that's beautiful. I like it.
ほら元がいいからですよ。
What do you think?
Look, I think
私は大丈夫だと思い
the
ますよ。
base is great. The wing, not so much, and he's missed a bit of blending there. But I suppose actually looking up close, maybe he did pass.
I think so.
まあ左右が対称になってませんけどね。まあそこはいいでしょう。
Looks pretty natural here.
Yes, it does. It does.
And here too.
Yeah,
Then the blush, you could see the blush.
I think.
Yeah,
Yeah. All right. So maybe that's a pass.
I think
Yeah?
so. Yeah. Yeah.
合格です。
I agree. Well, we think you are good at your work, good in marketing, and your art, I like it. It's personal because it looks natural. Saying that, yeah, the blush is maybe for TV is good.
Yeah, I think you
But
have
I
some
think-
things to learn, but overall we're actually quite
Yeah.
impressed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a
ま
lot
あ
to
左
learn.
右は対象になってませんけど合格ですね。
Hi.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Congratulations,
you
yes.
Thank you.
Thank you
Yes.
very much.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you.